guys, welcome to my channel. Today I would like to show you how to create a beach scene using Distress inks. You might have seen the card I will be making today in my previous videos because this was my entry to one of the challenges of one of the YouTubers. So first of all, I will be creating the beach and the sea as well as the clouds using Distress inks, and I'll be using Salty Ocean, Scattered Straw, and tumbled glass. To create the clouds, I'll be using this crown tree from one of the Lawn Fawn stamp sets. So first of all, I have a piece of smooth cardstock that I cut down to 4 inches to 5 1/4, a little smaller than standard card because I wanted to add a little frame. And now I'm gonna use just a regular printing paper that I will cut a mask out of, that I will use to cut out a seashore, and I will cut it out in kind of one go so that I have top and bottom, and then I can mask off each section when I blend the ink. So as you noticed, I added some black cardstock underneath my piece. That's for the better white balance. It was really bright outside, so everything looked totally too bright and I couldn't film properly. So I hope this helps to get the right colors, and you can see maybe better the card front I'm working on. So at the moment I added some adhesive, like temporary adhesive at the back of each piece, and I think at this point I forgot to add it on my actual card front, so I will do that later on because none of the pieces should really move when you're applying the ink, so that you can add the ink evenly. And I should also add that at the moment I'm cutting out kind of a sea line that will go underneath the clouds. I forgot to cut that out, and that should be more or less an even line, maybe not exactly straight, but if you ever been to the sea, when you look towards it, you can see a kind of a straight line between the sky and the sea. So that's what we're trying to create here. I created that line, cutting it a little unevenly, and now I will be blending ink. I'm using Salty Ocean. I want to have the deeper blue further away from the beach and then a little brighter towards the shore. And to do that, if you don't have 2 different shades of blue, which in this case actually I am using just Salty Ocean, just applying it a thicker layer at the back and a little thinner at the front, and hopefully later on it will give that impression of being deeper and more shallow water. And now you can see how it looks like without the bottom mask, and you can see this beautiful shore. And now I'm gonna take off the top mask and I'm gonna create a few clouds using tumbled glass. I'm gonna use scattered straw distressing to create the beach. And I think when I was creating the mask, I cut off a little piece at the side, as you can see. So I need to cover that up with a post-it, and then I'm gonna be blending the ink. Okay, now our scene is almost finished. We have our beautiful shore and the sea and the cloud, and now I'm gonna put it aside to dry, and I'm gonna start stamping out the images that's gonna go and complete the scene. So for all the elements on my card, I will be using the stamp set by Close to My Heart called Tropical Paradise, and has these gorgeous images like a palm tree, a turtle, those surfboards, and a hibiscus flower. And so now I will show you something that I recently discovered, and it's really awesome. I'm super happy. I am going to use my Memento inks to create the ombre effects. I'm taking one of the surfboards, and I am going to use 3 colors of my Memento ink. I'm gonna use Cantaloupe, Dandelion, and Tangelo. So 3 warm colors, and I'm gonna dab it onto the stamp and then stamp it on my smooth cardstock. I was really excited when I found out that these inks can create such a beautiful ombre effect, and such a smooth one also. And well, you can see here that maybe it's not a perfect one, but later on when I try it again with the same colors, it gives a much better result. So it just depends how much and how evenly you apply the ink on top of the stamp. Here I'm gonna use Lilac Posies, Grape Jelly, and Ladybug. I think that gave a really beautiful blend, starting with darkest going all the way to the red. So at the bottom you get your Grape Jelly, then Lilac Posies, and then Ladybug. And here you'll see that the blend is much nicer. And I'm gonna also stamp a few other different color combinations. I went kind of crazy with stamping here because I love the color combinations so much. I thought they looked really beautiful, all the color combinations, so I went ahead and stamped a lot of surfboards. And so I'm gonna speed it up for you so you can see what color combinations there are. I will list all my color combinations in the description below and on my blog post. And then we're gonna continue assembling the card. I also tried stamping these images on the watercolor paper, but it did not give such a smooth impression. I definitely would suggest you use smooth cardstock. The one I'm using is by Personal Impressions. It's premier quality smooth white cardstock. I sometimes use also Nina Solar White. It is just as good, or maybe even better. I found that this one is just as good. It's very smooth, very soft to touch. And here you can see I tried again this yellow-orange combination, and it's much nicer. So it just depends how well you apply your ink. So just try over and over again until you gonna get a perfect blend. And here I also took the little turtle and I tried some combinations of green and blue, which I thought was really nice. I don't know why, I think these are like surf colors, blue and green and then blue and purple. So I tried those out on the turtle and it blended really nice. So I'm really satisfied with the Memento inks, and I must be honest with you, I really didn't use them so much since I bought them. I really thought that they didn't give such a good impression, but on the solid stamps they worked really beautifully. And if you have a really good cardstock, it's gotta be smooth, I realized, then it gives a really nice impression. So here's a few more blends, yellow, green and blue and purple. And then I am going to cut these out. And now for the fun part, I will be creating a sea foam. I will be adding it in the section where the sea touches the beach to create this foam effect. I get this awesome idea from Kylie Pertel. I saw her video tutorial where she used true snow to create this foam. I'm gonna link her video down in the description below. She created this little beautiful sunset scene, and I think you should definitely check it out. And so in my case, I am using modeling paste, which usually is used on canvases, but in my local craft store I didn't really have much of a choice. But I think it worked beautifully. All you have to do is gently tap the paste on the surface for adding the right foamy texture. And then I'm gonna let it dry, and I'm gonna stamp out a few other images. I'm stamping out the palm tree, and I'm also using Memento ink. And then I am going to stamp a little girl from the Mama Elephant stamp set In My Heart, and I'm gonna color her using my Pro markers. So after I cut out my images, I'm gonna prepare my surfboards and see where I will place them and which ones I'll use, since I stamped like 50 of them. So now I'm using my hobby knife to make a cut in my beach, and that's where I'm gonna put in my surfboards so they look like they are stuck in the sand. So now I'm just gonna show you how it's gonna look like, and then I'm gonna adhere them using some glue, or rather glossy accents, and some foam squares. So I'm adding some glossy accents at the bottom of the surfboard and some foam squares at the top for a little bit of dimension. I am gonna cut off the excess because this is gonna be my card front, and that's what is going to go on top of my card base. And now I'm using my brown Stabilo pen to create the illusion of sand, and I'm gonna adhere my little girl and the palm tree. And now I'm gonna stamp out the sentiment. I'm gonna be using also ombre effect. I'm stamping grape jelly and Bahama blue to stamp out the sentiment from the set. The sentiment says getting some sun, which I thought was very appropriate for this cute little beach scene, and that's exactly what the little girl is doing. I think those images from Mama Elephant are so super cute. And so that finishes off my little beach scene. I'm gonna also add a little bit of dimension to the palm tree at the bottom for the sand, and I'm gonna pop the whole card front on top of the purple card base, adding a little frame to the whole scene. And that finishes off the card for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe got a few ideas for the summer cards. And if you did, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And now for the giveaway. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I just crossed 1,000 subscribers. I cannot tell you how happy I am and very thankful for all your support. And so I'm gonna have a little giveaway, and all you have to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel and my blog, and leave a little comment in the section below here under the video telling me which card making technique is your favorite. And for more information about the giveaway, please visit my blog. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great and crafty day. Bye!